All right, Larry Kudlow saying earlier on Stuart Varney's show that the markets were worried about this prospect of Democrats taking over the House, and one of the things that's been extrapolated from that is that someone like Maxine Waters, a Democrat of California, would take over the Financial Services Committee, and that doesn't augur well. But Charlie Gasparino has been getting in the weeds on this and finding out that there's more to it than that, and maybe a little bit of worrying to it than that. But
well, I could tell you, if you talk to the banking industry, which I do a lot, the people there, because I was the first one to kind of delve into this Maxine Waters story over the last couple of days. You know, does she pose a big threat to the banking industry because she's a rabble-rouser and a populist? She actually represents her district very well, been there a long time, and she's in line to be the head of the Financial Services Committee, replacing Jeb Hensarling if the Democrats win Congress. What I found from the banking industry was, like, they're not that worried about it. I called up some people close to Maxine Waters. She said she's not going. They're not number one on her agenda. And when I really delved into this story, I found that the Democratic Party is kind of beyond just beating up on banks. Like Elizabeth Warren will always have that. But as a party, the populist sort of message that they want to bring to the table if they win the House will not necessarily be about banks. The biggest target I found will be tech firms. That they really believe that's where there's a populist sort of message that they can deliver on how tech firms use or misuse privacy.
Tech firms run by people who are loyal to Democrats.
You would think so, but I am telling you that's what they find it. And here's how you know it's true. We went back, Lydia Moynihan, my producer, and I went back. We looked at some of the numbers in Open Secrets. If you look at Facebook, Amazon, all the big FANG stocks, right, Apple, they are spending more money on lobbying in this midterm election cycle than they have in recent history. They're plowing money into lobbying. If you look at their campaign contributions, they're pretty evenly split. It's not like they're going nuts on the Dems. I mean, it's
but
more.
Only Maxine Waters base their technology companies too, right?
There's some.
District?
There's some. It's not like Northern California. She's Southern. I would just say that, you know, my guess is that the notion that the banks and the notion that Larry Kudlow's trying to say that stocks are trading off because Maxine Waters is baloney,
yeah.
And because the banks aren't that worried. I asked them, and I talked to people close to Maxine Waters. Okay, now what is she going to go after? I'll say Democrats in general are probably going to focus on tech, right. And that's why you got to pay attention. Those stocks are getting hammered lately. Increased regulation could hurt those stocks. What is she going to look at? My guess, and from what I'm hearing from people close to her, she's going to put a lot of attention on Donald Trump's finances. I mean, she might be the one that releases his tax returns. Right. That's one, and I think Ben Carson is in the crosshairs a lot as well. A lot of Democrats believe he's not doing a very good job at HUD.
Interesting. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Feel better? You sound awful.